To start things off, I would have to share about my entire entitled family. Growing up, I didn't know better. I always thought that my family was amazing. But as I matured, I started to notice more and more. My sisters, who were Shulk and Diamond and Despair for their own sake, were always self-entitled. My mother, who I will call Becky, being a mom and connecting with my sisters easier, always gave them what they want. Anything that was given to me, my sisters had to have too. But anything my sisters got was just gold things they had to have. For example, my mother always spoiled my sisters with phones, clothes, makeup, and while I grew up on hand-me-downs mostly bought from yard sales from my grandma. CPS was also constantly involved in my life, and my mother would speak with me to convince me to not tell them things that were going on. The most memorable time of this happening was when she told me that if I told CPS about any punishments I've received, that I would be taken away and be adopted by a fat-haired man that touches me at night. My mother was a master of manipulation, and this trait was adopted by my sisters as well. My sister Diamond would always talk to people to stir up issues and blame others for the drama issues. She didn't care what happened to others as long as it benefited her. While my sister Despair, although a little more nicer at it, would do what she pleased regardless of what others thought. Being the youngest of the bunch, I just did what I could to stay out of their way. I would shut myself out of the world and disconnect myself from everyone so I could be happy. Basically put, I did what I had to do in order to do better, and my sisters hated this. I would recycle aluminum cans and sell ramen noodles at school to make money, while my sisters would date guys and convince them to give them money. Around the age of 13 is when karma started catching up to my family. To those that deserved it, at least. My mom, having gone through at least 10 boyfriends that I know of to this point, finally landed a good guy. But her manipulative techniques didn't quite work on him as she expected. He stuck around for a few years but finally had enough. He started seeing another girl behind my mom's back while my mom abused substances and was constantly away. My grandma at the time was battling cancer, but being at its early stages, she was more than strong enough to live on her own, but my mom used this as an excuse to stay away. I would only see her maybe once a month, and that's being generous, when her boyfriend started seeing another girl. I don't condone what he did, but at the same time I don't blame him. He was left with 3 kids to take care of while my mom was put partying and doing substances. Of course, he got caught and a huge fight ensued where me and my family took off. We all moved into my grandma's house with my cousin while my mom once again disappeared. My grandma didn't turn much later and left me and my siblings in the house by ourselves. My mom would show up when she pleased and lock herself in her room. My siblings at this point all done their own things. I stayed away from everyone, keeping out of the drama from all the stress. My eldest sister Diamond ended up getting pregnant from a guy none of us have met and moved out to live with him, leaving my sister, cousin and me by ourselves. I shared a room with my cousin, and my sister Despair got her own. My mom dug a hole deeper into her addictions, and my cousin, bless him, did what he could to provide for us. During this time, my sister stole and used my cousin and me as her personal wallets. My sister Diamond would show up to the house demanding things such as our food, saying since she was pregnant she needed it more. And my mom only appeared when she was on some sort of substance, making her very aggressive. It was very hard to keep myself happy, but